Hi, look, I'm Dr. Peter Johnston. I've been a GP for 50 years. For probably 40 of those, I've had an interest in the mind-body connection and holistic medicine. So I've had quite a lot to do with practitioners of many different modalities. So I have set up a website called healthcareworkersfortruth.org to help gather forces to fight this mandates. But today I want to have a quick word about the wisdom of our Greek forefathers. Two Greek sages laid down the ethical foundations for our Western society, and they both lived in Greece in the 5th century BC. Their names still live on, Hippocrates and Socrates. Hippocrates is honoured as the father of medicine. Throughout history, there have always been snake oil salesmen. Athens was no different. So the words "first do no harm" were aimed at those who sought to make a buck, or in those days a drachma, by flogging remedies that were of more benefit to the seller than the buyer. He stressed that all physicians must put the needs of their patients first. This ethical standard has been the backbone of medical practice for 2,500 years, which is why in 1965, when we took our oath on graduation, we did that before we even saw our first patient. How would the father of medicine view our world today, seeing his physicians obliged by law to harm children? Young teenagers from the age of 12 have absolutely nothing to fear from the COVID virus. Without serious pre-existing conditions, their mortality is zero. They have robust immune systems and they don't get sick when the virus enters their bodies. Yet their medical and political leaders are demanding they take in an experimental drug which they know causes heart disease. It's written on the labels, especially in that age group of 12 to 17. And males worse than females anyway. Plato's teacher, Socrates, is honoured as the founder of Western philosophy. He was admired for his wisdom, integrity and his insights. He used a form of inquiry called Socratic dialogue. While it was a brilliant teaching tool for his students, it enraged the Athenian leaders because it showed up their ignorance and egotism. They solved the problem by having him ingest poison. Today, we have many people like Socrates in the healthcare field, people with wisdom, integrity and insights. They work as nurses, psychologists, paramedics, physiotherapists, masseurs, chiropractors, naturopaths, acupuncturists, osteopaths, dentists, optometrists, podiatrists, healers in many diverse fields. Too many to mention. Like Socrates, they're wise and they're awake to the malignant intent behind the pressure to vaccinate the public. They can see the deviousness and ignorance of their political and medical authorities, supported by the mainstream media. They know that what they're all promulgating is BS. So like the Athenian leaders of 2,500 years ago, our political leaders are forcing them to take poison. My home city, Melbourne, was frequently voted the world's most livable city. It now has the record as the most locked down city in the world. We have a premier currently being investigated for corruption who has dictated that all people working in healthcare must receive the poisonous dart by this Friday, October the 15th. If they fail to follow this directive, they lose their jobs. If they are self-employed, they are not permitted to care for those clients or patients for whom they have devoted their lives. Not only does this violate the philosophies of Hippocrates and Socrates, it violates the whole culture of the ancient Greeks who gave us democracy. Democracy is government of the people, by the people and for the people. Democracy was established to protect us from tyrannical egomaniacs posing as saviours. These democratic and ethical principles of democracy have been enshrined in much legislation, in basic human rights, natural law, the Geneva Convention, the Nuremberg Code, the United Nations Declaration on Human Rights, the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, Articles 6 and 7 of the International Criminal Court Statute, the Constitution of Australia. What is happening here is a crime against our people. Those who are awake, we must resist this tyranny. We need to band together, because if we don't hang together, we'll hang separately. And while on the subject of hanging, I need to issue a warning to all doctors. At the Nuremberg trials, doctors who conducted medical experiments on prisoners of war all pleaded their innocence, saying they were just following orders. This was not deemed an excuse. 7 were hanged and the others received 10 to 20-year sentences. How confident are you that your political leaders will stand by you if you find yourself at The Hague? Are they likely to take full responsibility, or will they duck for cover, leaving you to take personal responsibility for your actions? Once again, I thank you for the opportunity to speak to all of you. I've spoken mainly for healthcare workers, but I'm really speaking to everybody who's mandated to lose their job, this job for jab. So by all means, please visit my website at healthcareworkersfortruth.org. Thank you.